Let's talk about more disturbing films, shall we? Welcome back, ghouls and gals. Today I have 5 more disturbing movie. I'm not going to say horror movie because some of these are not horror, but disturbing nonetheless. So I have 5 recommendations. We'll go from more of an introductory level disturbing film to end with a full XXX disgusting sexual nightmare. So let's get into this. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give this a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. I do have a letterbox list corresponding to the disturbing movies that I've talked about, and I'm actually thinking about combining. I have 2 lists, one for disturbing movies and one for bleak movies, and I think I'm just going to combine the lists and make it a disturbing and bleak movie list. And before we actually begin, I want to put an honorary 6th mention on your radar once again. In my last disturbing related video, I talked about documentaries, and in there I talked about a director, Samhel, who has a documentary, I Cut Your Flesh, which is very uncomfortable. It's a very uncomfortable watch. Seek it out if you can find it. It's kind of unfindable. But he has another short film. It's not even on Letterboxd, and it is one of the most disturbing things that I've ever seen. I've openly said that Necromantic 2 is one of the only movies I've ever had to shut off because it felt so I was eating dinner while watching it, so I totally get it. But Exhumed Cadaver Lover, I'm sure that I'm sure you're picking up what I'm laying down. This is only about a half an hour long, but it has some of the most disgusting effects I've ever seen that are so sexual in nature. This movie is another XXX watch, I will say, but oh my god, this is another one that just, I had to watch it, some of it like this. It was so bad. It was great. It was great. Okay, anyways, let's get into our actual 5 movies. I just wanted to mention that one again because it is disturbing, but it's not on Letterboxd. So if you're not following Samhel on Instagram, you may not have ever known about this one. Okay, let's talk about one of our first films. This one is leaning on the less disturbing side. It is still quite disturbing, but because it has some familiar faces in it, I feel like it just takes some of the edge off. This is The Tale from 2018, an investigation into one woman's memory as she is forced to re-examine her first sexual relationship and the stories we tell ourselves in order to survive. Now, this film is actually based on the director, Jennifer Fox's real life experiences with child sexual abuse. This is pretty much her story being told on screen, which makes it really sad. It is a really sad story. It has Laura Dern. We get Jason Ritter in one of his worst, creepiest roles to date. There's some familiar faces, like I said, and that just kind of gives it a layer of comfortability, but then that comfortability is totally broken. All of the intense, child scenes, you can infer what I'm getting, were filmed with body doubles. So I mean, knowing that makes me feel a little better, but it's still just really, it's so yucky. I've seen it twice, and yeah, both times it was a really hard watch. Okay, moving on to another one dealing with the same kind of themes, unfortunately. We have Coming Home in the Dark. From 2021, a school teacher is forced to confront a brutal act from his past when a pair of ruthless drifters take him and his family on a nightmare road trip. Now, this comes from director James Ashcroft, who just recently did The Rule of Jenny Penn, which is disturbing in its own right. But both The Rule of Jenny Penn and Coming Home in the Dark were written by the same author, Owen Marshall. They are both short stories, and James Ashcroft chose to adapt them into full-length features. And I think Jenny Penn is really, honestly, it's disturbing in its own right. It really is. But this is pretty much a revenge movie where the kidnappers are kidnapping these people for a reason, It's because they are survivors of abuse at a boys' home, and it goes so deep, but it's so good, and it's satisfying, and it's a really great story to watch. But those two are like my more introductory disturbing movies, because I feel like they're not like crazy disturbing where you're gonna need to like take 3 days off of work and maybe a shower after. These are just movies that I feel like are gonna leave you feeling disturbed at the end. And the next ones that I'm going to get into, I fear, are a little worse. Okay, our halfway point. I'm only going to briefly mention this because I have talked about it before in a bug movie recommendation video, because this does have to do with bugs. A short film by Carter Smith, who did The Ruins. This is called Bugcrush, and there really is no trailer for it. It's just a short film. I can link it down below for you to watch, but it's pretty much about a boy becoming infatuated with another boy at school, and this infatuation becoming something so dark, and there is a assault scene involving bugs that is so unbelievably hard to watch in this short. I need you guys to watch it if you're not grossed out by that kind of thing, because Carter Smith really is fantastic. And if you think about this movie and his more recent film, Swallowed, where that one has to deal with some sort of like bug creature, you really see the origins of that one and where it started and where it kind of came from in a more disturbing route, because I do think Bugcrush is way more disturbing than Swallowed somehow. But let's get into another serial killer film. The last one I recommended was Carla, and that one was it felt like a Lifetime film, but a nasty Lifetime film. This one does not. This one feels like it is just beating you over the head, literally, with its themes. It's really a hard watch. The Golden Glove. From 2019, a serial killer strikes fear in the hearts of residents in Hamburg during the early 1970s. Now, we actually showed this in our film fest a few years ago. I believe it's still up on my Patreon somewhere. You guys could probably just go find it and watch it. I didn't realize how disturbing this movie would actually be, and I felt kind of bad just like springing it on you guys, the ones that watched our film fest with us, because there are some scenes that just linger where the camera is just letting you watch this man do these acts of murder. It feels so visceral, it feels real, it feels the way this movie is supposed to feel, if you know what I mean, when it comes to a movie like this. I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you're watching a movie about a serial killer, sometimes they do lean a little Lifetime-y, and this one is really intriguing. It is really compelling. It's really dark, and it's a really hard watch for those who are not fully initiated into the disturbing genre. But it's a really cool movie, so check it out. And finally, the last movie on my list, I do have to give a full disclaimer. What I am about to recommend to you is disturbing in a way that is very sexual. This movie is full on corn. I don't want to say the P word here. I don't want YouTube to be like, you nasty. I am. Get over it. Anyways, Bruce LaBruce, one of the coolest guys out there. He is a visionary director. His next film coming out, I fear, is going to be hot off the tails of this one. So let's just dive into The Visitor. From 2024, London. Today, a refugee washes up naked in a suitcase on the bank of the Thames. The enigmatic, sexually fluid stranger introduces himself to a bourgeoisie upper-class family who invite him to stay on as an employee. The visitor soon seduces each member of the family in a series of explicit sexual encounters. He will turn their world upside down as they can redefine themselves in new radical ways. Now, this movie, it has a message. Don't get me wrong. This movie is delivered in a very Gaspar Noé kind of way, but it is very confronting in its sexual themes. Like, it is like, yeah, sexual liberation, let's get it, but it is slimy, it is filthy, it is incestuous, it is sickening, it is sick. It is twisted. It's filthy. This movie is one of those movies that you do actually want to take a shower after because it is so goopy. It is so gross. It's like not an enjoyable kind of corn. It is really gross, but like kind of enjoyable at the same time. I don't know. We got a screener for this. We had no idea what we were getting into. We went into this movie absolutely blind. We got a screener from Utopia, thank you, a little while ago when this movie came out actually. We're watching this and then we were like, whoa. It was like a shocking experience. Don't watch this with your mom. Don't watch this with your dad. Don't watch this with kids. Just maybe watch this in a dark room of shame. Anyways, that is 5 more disturbing films that I wanted to put on your radar. I'm trying to like go all over the board with disturbing movies. I'm trying to like not just pigeonholed to horror because there's so much more disturbing content that's not just in the horror genre. But I got you for recommendations, so stick with me. Our next video will be part 25 to our weird horror movies that no one's really talking about list. Very excited for that. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. I love you. Sayonara, Spooky fam.